In this song lesson, we're going to take a look at a very classic rock and roll song, Money by Pink Floyd. And this has a very distinctive bass line that everybody knows. As soon as they hear the bass line, they know that this song is coming on. The tricky part about this song is it's not in a normal 1, 2, 3, 4 meter. It's in an odd time signature. It's in 7. But the best way to think about this is in groups of 4 and groups of 3. And I'll show you what I mean as we get into the song. So here's the main bass line, the fundamental bass line for the song. It's in the key of B minor, and most of this uses the minor pentatonic scale for pretty much the whole thing, minus some chromatic things. It's all based on minor pentatonic. So here's the main bass line. So it's basically B, then the octave, and the 5th, the F sharp, back to B again, and then down to the low F sharp, and we go up the pentatonic scale. So from the 5 to the flat 7 to the 1 to the flat 3rd, the minor 3rd, and back to the 1 again. And that's it. So now I'm using the open strings to make this, but you don't necessarily have to. It could be played the other way. So now, as far as the rhythm is concerned, this is the way I count it in terms of the odd meter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Or if you wanted to count it in 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Once you get used to it, you should just be able to feel along. But that's the way to count through it, to know that you're actually playing the rhythm correctly, is to know that it's 7 beats, not 8. So it's one shy of what a normal phrase would be. So, okay, so and most of the song just stays right on this same riff. But it's based around really a blues form, and when there's a turnaround in the song, instead of going like 1 to the 4 and then back to the 1 again and then 5, 4, 1, it just skips the 4 altogether, stays on the 1, that riff the whole time, and then we go straight to the 5 for the turnaround. And that's a little bit tricky, or a little bit different, I should say. So I'm going to play a couple of rounds of the riff on the 1, and then I'm going to go to the 5 chord and play that riff, and then I'll break it down for you. So. And then I'm back to the 1 again. So let's take a look at that. I go to the 5, the F sharp, down, so F sharp to the C sharp, down to the low F sharp, and then I go up the pentatonic minor scale, but it's skipping some of it, not all of the pentatonic minor scale. So F sharp, A, C sharp, F sharp, and then we go down chromatically to the 4 chord, the E chord. There we go. And that's E, B, E, and then up its minor pentatonic scale. And then we start over again. So let me play that for you again. Start the whole thing over again. So let me do the same thing that I did earlier, play the riff twice in B, and then do this whole sequence of 5, 4 to 1. So starts over again. Now let's say we're getting ready to go to the 5. And that's the basic cycle for the first part of the song, where the lyrics are sung. And you'll have to listen to the original recording to get the form, because it really ties in with how the lyrics go, and then you'll know when you go to that F sharp, when you go to the 5 chord. But one thing to remember, when you get to the 5 chord in that riff, you want to wait there for a second. The instinctual thing to do is just keep on playing in the pulse, but there's actually a slight pause there. So let me show that again. Pause. Then you go right through. So you get back to B again. So there's that one little pause there, and that helps, or that allows the rhythm to remain in that 7 feeling, that 4 and 3, 4 and 3 feeling throughout the 5/4 change. So that's basically those are all the riffs for the first part of the song. When you finish that part of the song, you do that 5/4 turnaround, and then there's a build up on the B chord, and we go into the saxophone solo. So let me play that, and then I'll show you the next section here. So this is the next section. Basically, what we're playing here is we're staying in B minor. We're playing the B, and then going up to the minor third, the D, and then chromatically back down to the B. So I'm doing a little hammer on here into the B. So that's how you get into the solo section, into the saxophone solo. We play the 5/4. 2 bars. And then we play this section. Now, I don't know if you noticed there, but once we get to that build up, everything switches over to regular 4-beat time, 4/4 time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the 7 is over with. For the rest of the song, it stays in 4. So if you can make it through the first part of the song where all the lyrics are, then it gets a little bit easier in the jam section after that. So once we get into the jam section, it's that chromatic thing that I just showed you. And then it goes to the 4 chord. And it does a chromatic thing, but it's slightly different. When we get to the 4 chord, the E minor chord, we just go down chromatically from E. Like that. And then back to the B. So after the last turnaround during the singing part, where we go to the 5/4 and then back to the 1 again, after that comes a sax solo. And this basically uses the same riff and the same form as the verse and stays in the 7/4, or the meter of 7, 4, and 3. So here, let me give you an idea here. Starting from the turnaround on E, you play the riff twice, and this is the end of the regular part, and the sax starts here. And you're going to play the riff 8 times. That's the 3rd time. 4th time, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then, this is the only time this happens in the song. You're going to play the same riff, up on the E, on the 4th degree. You're going to play the riff. You're going to play it 4 times in a row. It's the only time it happens in the song. So coming off the last time around in the sax solo on the 1 chord, we'll go to the 4. And you're going to play that 4 times. Then back to the 1. But let me show you how I'm doing that on the 4 chord. I'm playing the E here and doing the octave way up high, like that. And then again, I'm using the minor pentatonic form to play that part of the riff there. Go back down to the 1 chord for 2 times, and then when you get to the end of the sax solo, when you finish doing the 5 turnaround and you come back to the B, you just play triplet 8th notes, 1 2 3 4 5 6, 1 2 3 4 5 6, 1 2 3 4 5 6. For 2 bars, building up to the guitar solo. So let me do that again. Now, right there where I ended, that's the beginning of the guitar solo. And the meter changes now. It goes to a straight 4/4 time. So there's no more of the 4 and 3 or the 7 meter. So when you get to that B, you're going to play that for 8 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we're going to start the guitar solo. And you're building up to this, And it's just this chromatic thing on B minor. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a little hammer on into the B, like picking up into the B, and then hitting a short note on the minor 3rd and going chromatically back down to B again. And what you're going to do, once you've started this, you're going to do that for 8 times. So, and then we're gonna go to the 4 chord after that. So, bear with me. We'll just go through the whole thing. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and this is the 4. And we do that for 4 times. And then back to the 1 for 4 times. And then the 5. And then we got a riff or a line. And the thing starts over again, although we've finished up with a few more bars of B. Let me break it down for you. So the B riff we do 8 times. And then when we go to the 4 chord, the E, it's a chromatic walk down from E 4 notes. I was playing it here, so I was doing like E, E flat, D, D flat. But you could also play it here on the A string altogether. And you do that for 4 times, and then you go back to the B for 4 times. And then we go to the 5 chord. It's going to go like this. We play the low F sharp, and then we play the high F sharp and chromatically walk down from it like that. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we do that 2 times. And then there's this final walk down riff. I'll show you that in a second here. So let me take it from the 4 chord. Okay? So the 4 chord, we do this chromatic walk down from E. And we do it 4 times. 3, 4. And then we go back to the B for 4 times. And now we're going to go to the 5. 2 times. And then we're going to do this walk down of the minor scale. Back down to B with a little chromatic thing at the end. So let me show you that. If you remember your B minor scale, 1 3 4 1 3 4 1 3. But we're going to work backwards. We're going to go down from the top. But we're going to add this last chromatic note to land on the B at the end. So let me take it from the 5 chord again and show you how it goes together. And then we start all over again, like that, with the guitar solo. So, the 5 chord, and then the huge walk down riff, and then 4 more times on the 1, and then the cycle repeats all over again. We start again with the 1, and it goes for 8 times. So that can be somewhat confusing. After you're finished with the riff, the cycle isn't really over with until you play 4 times on the 1 chord. And then the whole entire cycle starts over again with 8 more times on the 1 chord, 4 times on the 4 chord, 4 times on the 1 chord, then 2 times on the 5 chord, and the walk down. So just to be clear, I'm going to play the whole guitar solo cycle one last time to make it clear. So I'll take it from the build up. This is the first time. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And now we're going to go to the 5 chord for 2 times, and then the walk down, and then 4 more times on the 1. And then we start all over again. So that's it. Those are all the parts for Pink Floyd's Money. Again, a little bit more of a complicated tune with all the solos, the sax solo and the guitar solo, and the odd meter feel during the regular part of the song and the sax solo. So hopefully you enjoy that one. It's a real classic song and a really great bass line.